Hello there, welcome back. So last time we did the first race, we did preseason, we did pretty well. 1-2 for the first race, gotta be happy with that, fastest lap and everything. A lot of development points here for Piastri, 2002, 2003 too. That's very nice. Forgot about Pocher though, so we're probably gonna start putting him in Duhan's car to develop him too. Because I think, I'm gonna test this, but I think your reserve driver has the potential of being faster developing or quicker to develop than your current drivers. But as you can see during this race, a lot of overtakes. 31 from Piastri, 27 from Duhan. A lot of defense, but also again failed defense. So could consider, you know, upping the stats there. Now we made 5 million this weekend. So performance guarantees, we completed all of those. An extra 500,000 incentives, almost 400k. So yeah, I say a pretty good weekend, all things considered. Can be happy with this. And we actually have 2 points for each of our drivers to put in. And that made Piastri 77. Which means I wasn't that far off when I said that he was close. Is it gonna... Yep, same for Duhan. Well, 1 point instead. But I think we're gonna go pace 90 on both our drivers. And then we can consider if you want to, you know, focus on something else. That sounds like a good middle ground for me. Pocher also has a lot of points. All of it is gonna go into reactions though for quite a while. So... just how things be. Congratulations from the board. With a 1-2 like that, I wouldn't be surprised. Now we actually forgot to check. What is the goal they want? Fourth of above. We're doing good there. And yeah, things are looking really good. Development-wise, we have, again, suspension coming in tomorrow actually. Which is good. We'll have that for the next race. I also see that we have forgotten to start a project. When did we finish that project? Is it... that one? Or is it a different one? It's the one that... okay, it's the underfloor right before the race, so that's fine. We wasted 4 days then. I thought we wasted way more. Now, as I said, the question is, do I want to invest into another rear wing? Or do I want to wait until I have my next ATR allowance? Because we are lacking a bit in top speed, we are lacking a bit in acceleration. And I think going for a rear wing isn't the worst thing we could do, honestly. It's going to take a while, of course. 2 months. But we can go intense and we'll have it done in May. So we'll do that. And we should also very soon get an extra design slot. And with that suspension being done, we can again focus on something else. There we are. Design center done. Very nice. Suspension done. Very nice. Let's first go and add to the engineering team. Because we kind of have to. There we go. Very good. And let's manufacture the suspension. We won't get it done for the race, which is honestly okay. We could emergency it, but I think it's fine to wait. We'll get it done for the next one. And we now have 2 new projects that we need to do. So we could do an underfloor. But as you can see, the gains from doing an underfloor now with this high expertise is very... it's very minor, let's just say it like that. So I think we're going to focus a little bit on the, you know, cheaper pieces, suspension, side pods, chassis. So let's get a chassis done. And as you can see, it's quite a challenge to... it's not a big upgrade, but we need to get expertise up, so we're going to be doing that. Intense, 5 engineers, and we're going to do the same for the side pod. And once we get research, we're probably going to be focusing a lot more on that. Just heads up. So sidepod again, also a minor upgrade, but still helpful. So let's get that in the works here. And again, we'll be spending a lot of money on design this season to make sure that we stay ahead. But it should be okay. So we have a race weekend in 3 days. Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We had a very good start. So let's see if we can keep that going. Performance targets, qualifying position. Let's go for qualifying in 6th or above for both our drivers. Q3, both our drivers, of course. Finish position. Let's say 1 driver in the top 3. Again, I could go ballsier, but I feel like this is, again, something you need to you know, try and figure out what is the best thing there. So I'm going to go to the race weekend. We're going to quickly get practice and qualifying done, and we'll see where we stack up before the race. Didn't do as well in qualifying, 3rd and 6th. We are a little bit off the pace here, but by the looks of things, Ferrari has brought also some upgrades, which could cause some problems. And it might be the same for Red Bull. We'll have to see. We're 2 tenths off, basically. For Piastri, a bit more for Duhan. We'll have to see how it goes during the race. But yeah, should be interesting. And just finished the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As you can see, it didn't go as well as last race. 3rd and the 5th. I kind of put Duhan on a 2-stopper and then had him spend the entire first stint behind Piastri. That was a strategic failure on my part, but he kept up pretty well with the pack. Got his second pit stop done in a safety car, which definitely helped. But we couldn't really do anything with the Ferraris. We managed to overtake Verstappen towards the end, which was good. But should have gone a bit more aggressive, probably. So that one's on me. And I think once again, yeah, we forgot Porsche. My bad. But we decent amount of development points for both drivers, which is good to see. A lot of money made, which is also good to see. And I guess we are going to continue the facility upgrades here. Underfloor completed. Very good. We now have extras, I assume. And we'll continue the pace here for Piastri. And in terms of facilities, let's upgrade the wind tunnel, because we now have the money to do so. While we're at it, is there anything we need to do? Car development report. As you can see here, we are basically the 3rd best car, I assume. Like overall, 2nd best maybe. So we still need to do a little bit of work here to make sure that we get the results we want. Next Grand Prix will be the Australian one in 11 days. I don't think we'll have anything done by then. Nope, 21 days is the earliest. Another chassis. And we have the side pods in 33, front wing in 30, so we're going to get some projects done here, and they're definitely going to be helpful. We'll have the suspension done, so we'll have to remember to slap that into our car. Would be nice. Let's get the suspension done. Regulation mode, let's see what went through. Okay, this is the regulation mode, my bad. We haven't actually voted yet. Cooling focused or airflow focused for everything? I think I'll take cooling. I'm sorry. I'm not 100%, but I do enjoy this game a lot, so that's why we're currently playing and recording. Yeah, we'll go for cooling focus changes. Again, airflow could hurt other teams, but it'll also hurt me at this point, so let's just go cooling. And our wind tunnel has actually become poor condition, but I believe I upgraded that. Yeah, so that'll fix itself once the wind tunnel is done in 64 days. We're also trying to get to see if the simulator upgraded again, so we'll be focusing on getting that done. Let's get our performance targets set. Reach Q3, both drivers. Reach Q2, both drivers, shouldn't be a problem. And as you can see here, we have some goals here that we should be easily able to reach, which is good. Now, let's just check here. Suspension is something we need to fit on both cars. It'll be a minor upgrade, but it'll definitely, again, help. So we'll go for that. Do we have anything else we have forgotten to install on the cars? Nope, we're good. So let's go to the Australian in the race, and I'll get back to you as soon as it's done. Again, you can find the video in the playlist below if you want to watch the race, but we'll keep on going with the same format, I think. We've just finished the Australian Grand Prix, which is the home Grand Prix for both our drivers, if I'm not mistaken. It was an eventful race, for sure. Piastri spun out in first, managed to retake the lead, thanks to, again, a safety car, when good old Tsunoda got launched by Hamilton. Hamilton played a bit of Tetris. Sadly, in the last couple of laps, Duhan managed to lock up, and almost take out Piastri. It was super close, super scary, and my butthole definitely clenched. So, yeah, I didn't like watching that. So Duhan bombed out from P2 all the way down to 13th. Managed to take 2 places, I think, on the last couple of laps, but bit disappointing there. We had a 1-2 in the bag, I think, so a bit sad. Got a decent amount of development. Forgot about share again. I need to just slap a post-it note on my screen. Don't forget about share or something. We failed our performance guarantee. Finished position streak. I believe I had both our drivers, so again, that hurts a bit. But it's just how it be sometimes. As you can see here, we actually made negative money because of our performance guarantees. So that's a bit sad, but that's just how racing sometimes. Sometimes you get bombed out and you can't really do anything about it. Let's get cornering for Piastri, and for Duhan we'll get the same actually, cornering. See here? Cooling focus changes got passed, good. We can now start doing research if we feel our car is too good. Excuse me. And let's have a quick look here. Nothing of interest. We have a design completed though, very soon. Now we did damage the underfloor on Duhan's car when he ran wide. Oh, sorry, locked up. So we're going to have to manufacture one new one, which again isn't really that big of a deal. Just how it be. But I do enjoy that they give you pop-ups like, oh, your car got damaged and maybe you should, you know, consider getting a replacement. So we're going to be making 4 chassis. It's going to take a while. We could rush these, but I think it's fine with just doing it the slow way. We are still very competitive in terms of our car, so I don't feel like it's a problem. Now, I am tempted to design an underfloor once we get the next aerodynamic setup. But before that, do we want to design a suspension or, you know, something else? Would that be something that would benefit us? The suspension would be a slight benefit, as you can see, so we might do that. But I want to test the chassis again. Well, we can't really test that, so let's just go ahead and make another suspension, and after that, I think we might just go research on 2 of our projects, probably. Maybe even more. But yeah, let's go ahead, make another suspension. We're going to develop the heck out of the car this season, so it's going to be good. Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Let's go to Italy. Performance targets. Let's set up some new ones. Let's set up both drivers in top 10. I think that should be doable. Q2 should we be able to do with both drivers. No biggie. Fastest lap should also be possible. Finish position streak, both in the top 10. Honestly, we can do one driver top 3 for 5 races. That is probably more reliable, potentially. So with that said, we've set up our targets, we've done a little bit of research, and we're now ready for the 4th race of the season. Let's see how it goes. Just finished the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. We have our second 1-2 for the season. Piastri on a 2-stopper. Ended up running away from the pack, basically keeping his lead for most of the race. Managed to pocket, well, get a pretty good gain on the rest of the field, and thus managed to win with a 2-stopper. Duhan secured second by running a 1-stop. Very good showing by him. But in general, I'd say we did pretty well, I dare say. Piastri is currently leading the constructors. Duhan up in 4th now. Very good. We now have 8 points to go on, down to Ferrari. And I'm just going to quickly tally up the results in terms of my spreadsheet. There we go. So, according to my calculations, Piastri would have about 32 points on 2nd place. So we're doing pretty well, all things considered. Piastri would have 92. 2nd place would have 60. And it would not have been a shared 2nd place. So it's quite interesting how the scoring format can really change the season. Good race, good performance incentives payout here. Almost an extra 2 million. Very, very good. We have now 17 million on, you know, to use. And we'll have front wing and sideboards done in time for the next race. Very good. Get some cornering for Duhan. Let's have a quick look. New ATR period. Very nice. Car development report. We're now first in medium and high speed corners. Not as good in dirty air. We're still lacking some top speed and acceleration, which will be nice to get. Congratulations from the board. Good to see. Front wing. Love to see that too. Let's manufacture some. Let's manufacture 6 of them. We'll have them in good time before Miami. We'll even have a spare one. Hopefully we will not need to use said a spare one. We can also go ahead and, well, we'll equip it once we get there. Could develop a new project here. Rear wing is in progress, so we can't do that. We could do another front wing right from the get-go here. But what I'm thinking is that we might do a final addition to the underfloor, which would, again, help the car in virtually all of its, well, virtually everything is what I'm getting at. So it wouldn't be a massive boost, but it would be an underfloor that would definitely, you know, be a decent enough benefit to us. So we're going to go ahead and develop an underfloor here. And we're, of course, going to go intense because we usually do that. It'll be done in July, which is, you know, halfway through the season. So this will be okay. We'll do that. Current project is otherwise the side pods, of course. We're doing a rear wing, and we'll have to see if we turn this maybe into a research project after this, because, again, our car is very, very good right now. There we go, side pods. Let's get some manufacturing done. It'll take 8 days, so we will not have them for Miami. We might not have them for the GP after either, but let's rush them then. It should be okay. We have a decent amount of money right now. Now, there are better things we could use that money on, but I feel like it's okay to rush it. Again, excuse me. I don't know what's up with my throat right now. Let's continue forwards. I don't think we have anything in particular we need to do. Oh, wait. We do. I forgot to start a new project. So we do have something that we need to do. Now, do I want to start just a regular front wing? It'll give us some extra expertise. Again, these stats aren't what we'll get because we already have a front wing. We'll probably get a little bit less than half of this gain, but it's still a decent gain. So let's go ahead. We'll develop a front wing as well with intense, and again, it'll be done in July. But after that, we might just go full research, because at that point, our car should definitely be the best the grid has to offer. So before we get to the race, let's have a quick look here. I know that we made, sorry, not rear wing, front wings. As you can see, those front wings do give quite a decent boost in virtually everything. So we'll install them on both cars. And side pods, we only have one. So since Piastri is currently leading, we'll be giving it to him. And again, it's just a small boost to speed, mostly. So that is good. And yeah, that should be all right. We also have the two new chassis, which we can install on both cars. So yeah, things are looking good. Let's have a quick analysis here. We're using Piastri's car. We're almost beating out the grid average. We're just lacking in DRS acceleration and, of course, cooling. If you compare it to Red Bull, we're still lacking in top speed. They've actually, I think, run slightly ahead of us. So getting underfloor and getting rear wing going is probably the best thing we can do for ourselves in order to, you know, catch up to them. But we are getting there. Our cornering is better, but just slightly, so it's probably going to be an interesting battle throughout the whole season. Now, Ferrari has also developed their car, and their top speed is now greater than ours, so they are giving us a run for our money here, which is good to see. Let us set up our performance targets for Miami. Q3, both drivers, of course. Q2 also, both drivers. Shouldn't be a problem. Fastest lap, again, we can probably get that done. And we'll try and get these streaks to continue. So let us go to Miami. just finished the Miami Grand Prix, and we had a pretty dominating performance. We finished 1-2, fastest lap, and as you can see, Verstappen was a whole 53 seconds behind Piastri. And as far as I know, Verstappen didn't actually have any accidents, so he had a dominating performance. But I'm a bit surprised just how dominating it was. We basically started in 1-2 after qualifying, and we held it all the way to the end. So it was a pretty good race. Pretty boring, all things considered, but a dominating performance nonetheless. With this, we have both our drivers 1-2 in the championship. Duhan is 1 point ahead of Leclerc, but it's a pretty good result. As constructors, we have increased our lead, which is very nice to see. Currently, things are looking very good. Sorry about that. It's an alarm. Give me a second. Yes, again, a pretty good performance, all things considered. 1-2, best result we could hope for. Also a decent amount of development points for both drivers. I once again forgot about Porsche. I need to start remembering that he exists. It's my bad. Good result economically too, in terms of performance incentives. Very nice. So all the investment we did last year is more or less being paid back now, because we are going to be getting a lot of those performance incentives done. Spanish Grand Prix is in 11 days, which is good for us. Put the point into braking. For Duhan, it will be the same. And again, I do want to get all the pace stats to 90 or even 95 before we start considering other things. It's just that beneficial to us. Race sim in poor condition. That's not what we like to see. Do I want to spend 8 million though to upgrade it? Again, I would really like to get the CFD simulator up to 4. I would actually like to get both of these up to 5 before we do anything like that. But the simulator is just such a nice thing to have, so we might as well just upgrade it. We'll be done with, you know, all the upgrades we can do then there. So let's do that. We'll also have to try and save some money to, of course, other facilities, but I feel like upgrading the race sim is good because our car is currently among the best. Getting, you know, upgrading our drivers would definitely help. And with this, Porsche has points to put in reactions. Let's just get that done. And let's see here. Congratulations for our result. Front wing has been manufactured. Good. And the suspension design is complete, which means we now have to manufacture them. And again, we're just going to do this normal. We don't need to rush it right now. We have a good car. And we're also going to go ahead and develop a new project. And the question here is, do we really want to? Like, if you see here, the basic chassis with no focus is straight up a downgrade. If we go for an upgrade, it would still be, you know, an upgrade. But it wouldn't be a massive one. So, currently we have a pretty good grip on the championship, I dare say. Side pod compared to what we currently have. Again, too, I don't think this will be too much of an upgrade. It's a minor upgrade that we might consider. It does give some acceleration under DRS, so I think we might actually just do another set of side pods. Now, the big question that I want to check before that is, do we currently have those side pods on the car? I know we have on one of the cars, but do we have it on both? So, car part development, sorry, warehouse. Side pods, let's install on both cars and then have a look. And yeah, we were looking at car 1. So yeah, the side pods were on. So I think we might just go ahead here and make side pods. Because the gain is small, I'll be honest about that. It's not massive, but it will benefit us, and the expertise gain will also be nice to have. It'll benefit us in the future. So we'll go with that. We also have the rear wings that will be done in, well, now. And I don't know, do I want to rush these? Boardroom in poor condition. Again, we don't care too much about the boardroom. Rear wing design complete. I don't actually have a manufacturer slot. Okay. We might have manufacturer slots in 2 days, so the rear wings wouldn't be done for the race anyways, so we just need to remember to, you know, actually make them. So the question now is, do I want to make another set of rear wings, or do I want to wait until the next ATR period? I think we might as well start doing some research here. So let's research on the rear wing instead. And start prepping for the next year, basically. So the research benefit will be slight, but it will help us in future, and that is the main goal. Let's put 5 engineers on it, and we'll get the research project going for the rear wing. Money-wise, we're also starting to be a bit poor. So a couple of things we need to consider there. Team hub in poor condition. Now this one is one that I actually want running, so we can start upgrading this. I start upgrading some of the smaller facilities, if you will. Boardroom, again, I don't see this as vital. Hospitality area is nice, but again, it's not something super vital. But you might consider that. Weather center is something that I really want to upgrade. Being able to know when it's raining or not is actually quite important. Memorabilia, the morale for staff and drivers could be nice. Let's just do, since they've deteriorated to this point, let's just do a small, like, sweeping upgrade of most things here. And we don't have enough for the hospitality area, but in general, this should be okay. Now, we've done a lot of upgrades, so how are we looking in terms of the cost cap? So, projected, we're going to hit, 87 million. So we still have 50 million that we can spend where we see fit. We've so far this season spent 46 million on the car development already. So things looking good there. Facilities is our second biggest expense, but as you can see, we ain't paying too much in anything else. So we're looking good. Let's get ready for the Spanish Grand Prix. Chassis is done. Side pods are done. And with that, we can now start the production of the rear wings. So let's manufacture rear wing. And as you can see, this one is actually a downgrade. Wait. What did we do with the rear wing? Huh? Okay, something has gone wrong in the making of the rear wing, I assume. Because as you can see, we lose a bit of cornering. Okay, this is a bit awkward. We're going to make 4 though, because I am curious about what exactly has happened here. So let's make 4. And I hope I'm designing the correct one. Because this is a bit weird to look at, all things considered. But that could also be just the games actually have reached that point. I wouldn't think it would have, but it could be. Or it could just be the car not, being on our team when we put things together like that. So we're just going to quickly go through the warehouses here. See if we have everything. Oh, there we go. Now it updated with the correct stats. What I assume happened here is that it assumed that we already had this rear wing fitted or something like that, because this is just weird to look at, because this is a definite upgrade. Okay. That makes more sense. Then there was some weird shenanigans going on there on that screen. It wasn't actually accurate. Have I not... the suspension is in progress, so yeah. We're going to have suspension and rear wing after the Spanish Grand Prix. Very good. Let's go through our performance targets. And I'm going to take a quick break after this, because now I'm actually confused because of the stats lying to me. I think we're good with that. Looks okay. So with that, we'll get the Spanish Grand Prix done, and we'll see how it goes. Just finished the Spanish Grand Prix, which is actually kind of eventful. We had a spin, which involved Piastri spinning into Duhan, resulting in a destroyed front wing for one of our drivers and some minor suspension damage for the other. And we also had a safety car, and that kind of saved us when Valtteri Bottas booted it into Tsunoda. So, sorry, the other way around. So yeah, it was a pretty eventful race, all things considered. You can find it in the description if you are interested in it. And in general, we're doing pretty well. Once again, we got a 1-2. We created a big pocket to the cars behind us. So we have a very good strategy right now. We can virtually win most races, I think. It's not really much of a challenge at this point, but we are going to at least play this season through. And the goal will be, again, going a little bit about through research, maybe how research affects your car. So we'll be getting back to that now that we are in a position where we can focus on it and how research works. We'll also be focusing again on developing our drivers. I forgot about push share again. It's starting to become a running joke at this point. But I was remembering when I see him on that screen. Very good in terms of performance incentives. Almost 1.5 million. So economically we're doing well. Result-wise we're doing well. And it's just a good time to be a Williams fan. Congratulations for the win. Kind of what we expect. Helipad has been refurbished. Good. Facility upgrade. Memorabilia. Very nice. And we now are going to do the Monaco Grand Prix. So hopefully we can have a very good qualifying here. We are getting first now in some stats, as you can see. Cornering, we're basically the kings. We're just missing a little bit in the low speed. We're still lacking top speed, which is what hurting us the most, I think. But if we can gain that pocket in the beginning with our cornering, we can really, you know, put some distance between our rivals and ourselves. Both drivers, we're going to just go top 10. It's safe. It's a decent amount of money. T2 will, of course, be doable for both our drivers. Fastest lap, we'll be going for that. And with that, we're off to the Monaco Grand Prix. And this time, I'm going to remember that push share exists. We've just finished the Monaco Grand Prix. And as you can see, we managed to climb up into first place. Qualified second for Piastri. Duhan had a mare. Qualified 9th, which is pretty bad. But he made up 3 places. Almost got to Paris, but I made a mistake that dropped him back down to 6th. So, all in all, a pretty good Monaco Grand Prix. Managed to secure fastest lap by a decent margin, as you can see. So that's very good for economy-wise. In terms of the championship, we have a decent lead. Piastri undisputed first. Duhan might get some challenges here from, you know, the 3 people that are following him. Leclerc, Sainz, and Verstappen. Just 4 points between him and Verstappen in 5th. We have a very healthy lead now in constructors, and hopefully we can continue growing said lead by having good performances in the races to come. Monaco again is a bit of a boring one, but we remembered to you know, give Pucher a shot here, so that is good. Money-wise, an extra million in performance, very good. So currently, I'd say we're doing great. Let's put a point in for Duhan. We'll wait with Pucher till he gets a few more. And nothing spectacular here in terms of news. Railing done. We actually have all the parts now set on the car, I believe. I got the railing on before last race. And if we check here the car analysis right now, compared to the grid, we are best in everything except for brake cooling. And if we check compared to the Red Bull, we have now caught up to their top speed. We are equal in acceleration, so we're very close now to having the undisputed best car on the grid. We're lacking a little bit top speed and acceleration against Ferrari, but with a couple more upgrades we should be there. And of course we're going to have to pay attention that you know, we don't get out-developed by the other team. But in general, things looking really good. Tour center done. Again, this isn't really something we're too concerned about. We do make some money, but I think it's okay. Suspension has been manufactured too. We put that on the car as well. So currently, things are looking very good. And with that, we're going to go to Azerbaijan, get the Baku Grand Prix done. And before that, let's just set up our, you know, standard setups here for both drivers. Again, we'll just go 10th to be safe. And yeah, next race, we should be able to, as long as we have someone on the podium, get an extra 2 million payout. That's going to be great. With that in mind, though, let's just have a quick look at facilities here. The wind tunnel will be done very soon, which is actually perfect because we do want to invest into, you know, better parts. The safety simulator here, we could start an upgrade on that. And quite honestly, I probably will. But we'll wait a little bit more. I'm considering, you know, focusing a bit more on staff and operational facilities. Mostly because it might allow us to attract some better, employees. But again, that's not really a big concern. Weather center is also something I want to upgrade, but I think we'll get wind tunnel and CFD simulator to the maximum first. That'll be the goal. So let's go ahead and invest. We're going to get probably around 5-6 million from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, so we should be good. As you can see, we'll have a bunch of stuff that are actually getting upgraded at the Team Hub, Race Simulator. Both are going to be done in 2 days, wind tunnel in 1. So we're doing pretty well, all things considered. I'll get the Grand Prix done, and then I'll come back to you. Again, if you want to watch the races, the playlist is down below. All the races are there, and I hope you enjoy.
We're looking forward.
We just finished the Baku Grand Prix, or the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, depending on how you want to look at it. Duhan came out on top. We had a good race, all things considered. Duhan had a spin during the first couple of laps, which resulted in just minor tire damage, but could have ended his race, really. In the castle section, he spun, hit his rear wheel on one wall, and then slightly touched the barrier with his rear wing. Luckily for us, no damage, which is good. But as you can see from this, race result sheet, we're missing someone. We're missing Piastri. Well, Piastri pulled the genius move of crashing out on his final lap, basically, which is kind of sad, all things considered, but not much we can do about that. Before Piastri crashed out, he was in first. We were looking at a 1-2, quite comfortably, but these things happen, and not much we can do about it. Probably a result of me having him push for fastest lap, but we have a decent enough gap here in the Constructor Championship that we don't need to worry about that. Both championships, really, so we're perfectly fine with it. There's no big issue. Let's continue here. Driver expertise. Still a decent amount, even though he crashed out. I forgot about Pusher again. It's basically a running joke at this point. And here's actually the funny part. I just realized, you can't really see it right now, but if you go a little bit backward, the wing is missing from the car, which, is very interesting. But we got a huge payday here. Again, 2.5 million plus 900k, 3.4 million extra, which is very good because we did spend a lot of money right before this race. Wind tunnel has been completed, which is good for us. Race sim has been completed. And also Team Hub has been completed. So we'll have to see if we want to continue the upgrades there. Congratulations for Baku. Very good. And upgrading the Team Hub could be an idea. It'll help our staff, which is good. And honestly, we're at the point where we might as well start to upgrade the other things. We have a very dominant car, which of course is important. Race sim is fully upgraded, which is good. The main concern could be in finances, the cost cap, because we are going to start racking up facility cost. But at this point, we should be okay. We probably won't have to worry about the cost cap for quite a while. Race sim completed. Wind tunnel. Next level is 17 million, which is basically what we'll probably end up saving up for. I'll still allow the factory and the other two facilities to degrade a bit. Scouting department isn't really something we need to upgrade. I am tempted to upgrade it later when we don't have anything else to see what we can do with it. But for now we're good. Hospitality area, we probably could upgrade this. It'll help with human attractiveness. And I think it's fine. So I've actually been on the fence on the tour center here because I have been silly. I thought this as monthly income. Like, why would I... But it's actually weekly, so you're actually earning quite a lot with this. So tour center is definitely worth it to upgrade. It's just me being dumb and not reading properly. Reading comprehension is hard, people. I'd also boost our memorabilia room because we are on the uptake. Again, boardroom, I don't care too much. The board won't kick us because we, are doing very well. We can gain team attractiveness from other places, so for the time being, we'll leave that as is. We will upgrade the weather center, though. It's one of the more important pieces. Do we have any designs coming in now, which I might not... well, in 2 weeks we'll have 2 of them, so we're good. I'll also go a little bit through how research works, because I've been doing some testing on it. So once we get a couple of slots, I'll go a little bit more in-depth in how research works, and it's actually very interesting, and actually very important for you. So weather center, we just upgraded it, but it's in poor condition. Not really a big surprise there. Canadian Grand Prix will be our next one. Qualifying, again, both drivers in top 10. I hate that it's inverted, honestly. I feel like it's inverted, so every time I want to go up, it goes, the other way. Both drivers should make Q3 no problem. Again, it's just free money at this point. Fastest lap, also free money. Let's go one driver, top 3. And again, we're going to just go 5. I feel like this is the most secure one. We could go ballsy and say we're going to have one in the top 2. But as you can see, it's just 100k over 5 races. Could also go 5th, but I feel 3rd is a good compromise. And of course, if we have a driver crash out like Piastri, we have drivers that are, you know, accident prone. That's why we're going with 1. So that looks good. And with that, let's get practice and qualifying done, and we'll see where we stack up for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're currently in the practice view, because I completely forgot about something. I forgot to check the damage to Piastri's car. So Piastri had a fairly good engine, if we compare it to Duhan's. Let's also get this done while I remember it. Porsche. 78%, 71%. They basically have been using identical parts for the most part. So if I look at the damage that is given to, you know, Piastri's car, he basically has 2 practice engines now, which is kind of sad. It's most likely going to result in us buying an extra engine later on in the season, which, again, isn't really that much of a concern. The gearbox, again, should be fine. We might need an extra one, but ERS is what we're going to end up buying. We have one that we're basically using for practice now, because it's low. And again, I'm going to run all these parts to the ground. It's just the way we do things here. Let's get this engine used up first, and so yeah, we're going to take some grid penalties later this season on Piastri for sure. And again, when you do practice, I would definitely recommend you do this, because you just save so much on engine power. And again, we have a fairly equal car with both Ferrari and Red Bull. We are better on turning, and we generally have a lot better pace than them. And that is mostly due to us running probably better engines, and of course running more aggressive strategies. So that should be alright. Now with that done, I'll get the practice done quick here, and then we'll be back. Just finished the Canadian Grand Prix. As you can see, we once again secured a 1-2. Quite dominating 1-2 in this instance. We lapped everyone up to 8th place Gasly. Gasly started in 4th, ended up sadly in 8th, but he had a good race. Sainz crashed out, ended up in 12th, kind of disappointing for him. Perez too had some bad luck. But as you can see in the top 6 there, a lot of drivers that made up spots. Fernando with a really impressive race, Alonso ending up in 5th, which is very good for him. But yeah, 1-2 from Piastri and Duhan. Piastri had a tiny accident where he touched the wall. No damage whatsoever, which is very good. But yeah, as you can see, we did 2-stopper versus the rest doing 1-stops. So it's honestly the most powerful strategy once your car starts getting close to the top. If you can qualify good, and if you can make sure that you get to the front, you get that gap, running an attack strategy on all your tires will give you a huge advantage compared to the rest of the field. It is probably the strongest strategy out there right now, so keep that in mind if you want to try and do this for yourself. Now, driver standings, Piastri, again, comfortable lead. Virtually untouchable at this stage. Duhan still in 2nd, but can get caught by Verstappen and Leclerc at this point. Sainz has been kind of lost now because of his, well, bad luck the last couple of races. Constructors, we are starting to get quite a gap here. Ferrari and Red Bull are going to fight for 2nd. And as you can see here, a few less teams scoring points, but that's just how things are. Now, race results. We are getting fewer development points because we're running out in front with not really, you know, challenging each other. It's just how things are. I remember to push here in practice. Yay me. But yeah, we're doing good. Extra million here, almost, in performance, which is what we like to see. So again, all in all, I'd say we're doing good. Memorabilia room will be upgraded. Side pods will be done. Front wing will be done before the British Grand Prix. So we'll have 2 more upgrades, which could potentially make the car a bit more, you know, nasty to deal with. So with that in mind, memorabilia upgraded. Do we want to do 1 more? We could do it for morale purposes, honestly. It's a very low monthly upkeep, so let's just get it done. Again, we can start focusing on other facilities. We don't need to focus as much on the car. So we're good on that. Side pods have been made. Suspension in low stock. Same with the chassis because of accidents in Baku, I think. Not this previous one. It's most likely the Baku one. So let's order a suspension as well. And we're also going to order side pods because we have new ones here. So the British Grand Prix is in 7 days. Can we make 2 of them before then? No, but we can make 1. So let's go ahead and rush 2 and then get 2 more. So we'll have new side pods for 1 of our cars, which should be okay. And we'll develop a new one. So here's the thing. Currently our car is very good. We can start focusing a bit more into research. Now, you might ask yourself, what does research do? So research does some very simple things, actually. So if we have a look here, you can see the research benefit. The research benefit does 2 things. It adds extra attributes to, you know, your research. But more importantly than that, that research benefit is also gaining expertise that will affect next year's car. So as you can see, we currently have 48.01% prestige. Expertise, sorry, not prestige. Once we finish this research with this current stat, we would gain an extra 1.51%. But that 1.51% wouldn't actually be... How should I put this? It wouldn't be put into effect until the next year. So again, it's expertise gain for next season. And since expertise is also the stats that are judged in terms of, you know, your first car for your next season, it will boost your base stats as well. That is basically how research works. And as you can see here, the car part expertise reduction due to technical changes is at minus 11% due to a 30% reduction. We have 38.2, which would again translate to this being 30% of that. So you might need to consider doing this. Now here's the important part. If you use your CFD and wind tunnel hours on developing your car, you'll get a small expertise boost. Like, it'll help your expertise boost a little bit. But if you use this on research, the expertise gain given will be a lot larger. And you can, to some degree, cheese this, if you consider that cheesing, by using the your CFD and wind tunnel hours on research. So as you can see, if we did this, we'd get 7.35% expertise for next season, which translates into actually a decent upgrade for a chassis. If you look at the stats there on the right, that would be the research benefit for next season car. So let's say if we, you know, didn't care about engine cooling at all, it'd still get a boost compared to this season's, but we'd gain a larger boost in everything else. So it's something to consider, but we aren't going to be using the research on something like that. We'll be using the research on underfloor, on rear wing, and we'll be testing the expertise gain there first. But for now, I think it's safe to say that we can start putting some research into, you know, next year's car, and that's exactly what we'll do. So it'll save us money in the long run as well. So we're going to be researching a bunch of parts. We're going to be working towards next season's car, and we'll see just exactly how we end up there. Front wing has been designed, and our car development report, we are first still in a lot of things. Top speed and acceleration on the DRS were first, and we're also getting very close there on the regular one. So you could say at this point we have the undisputed best car, which is very good. I also have completely forgotten that I can put you know, points into these guys. So drag reduction, F-load sensitivity. Drag reduction is probably one of the most important ones. He's good at cooling, which is kind of sad, but not much we can do about that. Let's give our technical chief a point into front wings. Again, we're probably going to switch him out next season. So we're good on that for now. Also, once we get the team hub upgraded so these guys get more experience, that would be good. But we'll have to see. We might switch them out, we might not, but I think we'll just keep them. The main stat we care about is pit crew management, really. Speaking about pit crew, how are they doing? They're getting in there with the tire changes, up into 70 now. So again, we're going to focus these two. We're going to focus probably car release, wing adjustments. Again, I don't care too much about them. So again, training in this area has no impact on pit stops that don't include a front wing replacement. So yeah, it's replacing front wings. And again, if that happens, our race is probably ruined anyways. So I feel like it's better to just go for the other three stats, if you will. Now, the front wing has been made, but we don't have any manufacturer slots available right now. because we currently have other projects going. So we're actually reaching the point now, with the amount of designs we have, that we might need to consider upgrading the factory just to accommodate it. Now, suspension will be done in a day, so again, it's not really a big concern. And we'll also have to start a new project here, design project. Or, you know, but now, since we have the best car, we'll be focusing research. So we could also go ahead here and put the hours into front wing research, which probably wouldn't be a very bad idea, all things considered. It would help us out a decent amount for next season. So if we did this, for instance, we'd gain actually acceleration of all things, but decent cornering, a little bit of brake cooling. It wouldn't be a bad idea, but at the same time, the gain here isn't super big. But as you can see, it's right under that 10% mark in terms of the expertise gain. So it's really, really good. We're gaining 7.5%, 8%. Now, here's the thing. If we change things, it changes also other things. So if we are lacking in a department, we could do this for research, for instance. Do this. And it'll boost those percentages quite a bit. So, again, we could do that, but we're just going to focus everything with cooling. We have a very good all-round car. There's no need to change that right now. Once we get an update later on, which will balance things a bit more, it could be a strategy to do things like this. We might also do a new run at Aston Martin, I think, maybe once the next patch comes out. But for now, we're going to do Williams until we feel like we've completed all we set out to do. So front wing, we're currently in July, so we have a lot of ATR periods ahead of us. I think that front wing is actually a good idea to put a little bit of hours into, so we'll do that. It costs money, of course, everything does. But the money that we're spending using research right now will actually benefit us in the long run too, because it'll allow us to put more into our, you know, factories, our facilities. Let's see, we now need to remember to create those front wings. And again, as you can see here, these do give a decent amount of cornering, just this. So we need to manufacture them. It takes 3 days each front wing, which can be brought down to 2. So what we're actually going to do here is spend an extra $1 million to rush these 2 wings, which doesn't actually make sense now I think about it. We have the best car, so there's no need. Let's just go normal and make 6 front wings. I'm still thinking that we're at the back of the grid and need to fight for every point, but that is currently not the case. Let me just check here that I didn't make I made the correct front wing. I was worried there for a second that I made the, you know, tier 2 front wing. And in a little less than 3 weeks time, we also get the underfloor done, so yeah, I feel like once this underfloor is done, we're gonna just go full on research for the rest of the season. It's probably our best move. Toll center is done. I believe that's the maximum level it can reach. Indeed. And with that, we have a decent amount of weekly income. Facilities, wind tunnel, can't really upgrade. We need a little 10 million more. Factory, again, it's reaching that point where I need to consider upgrading it just for make sure that we have enough capacity. Scouting department, we don't really care about right now. Operations, boardroom, no. The rest of here is everything is upgraded, so we're looking very good, honestly. A very, very comfortable position to be in. Let's get our performance set up. Again, both our drivers into Q3. Finish position, top 3 for 1 driver. Should be doable. And the rest, we're just going to continue the streak. So as you can see here, qualifying both drivers in the top 10 Q3 will give us 3.7 million. No, sorry, 600,000. I was reading that number down there, which confused me for a second because it was a little bit too high. 682,000 for doing this is also pretty good. With that said, let's get to the race weekend for Silverstone, and let's see how it goes. Hello there, welcome back. We just finished the British Grand Prix. As you can see, 1-2. But it was an eventful race. We had a red flag. We had a case of a Haas T-boning an Alpine who was standing on track, understandably a red flag. And we had a couple of safety cars. No, VSCs. So kind of an eventful race, but again, the same thing. We just created that pocket from the get-go. We made it kind of interesting towards the end there. Red flag at lap 44 out of 52. So, but yeah, as you can see, managed to get away, managed to create a gap. So, all in all, a good race for us. Alonso had potential of getting third. He got really, really screwed by that red flag. So, it's an interesting race. Shame for Ocon too. It seems like Alpine has started to become a better car, but we had also a bit of a struggle getting up in first. So we'll have to have a quick look here and see if we can figure out how if the others have upgraded their cars. Now, we had a decent money-wise, 1.6 million extra. Very good. So again, if we're making that much every race compared to last season, we are definitely going to get paid back on our investment. Side pod's done, chassis done. All in all, a good one. Piastri up to 78 is good to see. And Duhan actually has 2 points here to invest. I didn't actually realize. But that puts him up to 76. So we're doing good. For sure, again, we're just going to focus on reactions for a while. 75. I believe we have maybe a new regulation vote. We do. So chassis got manufactured. The memorabilia room has been upgraded to maximum. Not really anything we can do there. Now I'm curious though, with the memorabilia room being at maximum, does that mean that we might be able to entice this guy? No, he's not interested yet. He has 1 year left of his contract though, so we could potentially kidnap him next year. Same for Enrico Balbo, but he has 3 years left, so that's going to be very expensive. So I think we made a good move here on picking up Dirk de Beer, but we'll have to see. Again, we'll probably change out our technical chief next season. Regulation on the scoring structure. Pole position bonus point. Fastest lap bonus point. Double points for last race and back to the old scoring system. We're going to vote for that. It's going to make, again, anything that can make the game interesting is something we'll vote for. Duhan, 2 points. We've already put those in, so we're good. Sidepods have been manufactured, which is good. We can go ahead and actually slap those on the car, I think. Which I forgot. Did I forget? Or did we just do it normally? I can't even remember. Let's just go ahead and make 2 more so that we have extra ones. And other than that, we had one more thing. Front wings, yeah. So we'll put these on before the next race. Should be okay. So, yeah. Things are looking very, very good for us. Congratulations on the result. And we're now at the next race in Austria. Got to set up our performance targets. Qualifying again. We're going to get both drivers in top 8. We can go for that. Duhan has usually been 6th. He has 1/9 qualifying. So we'll gamble on 8 here. And both into Q2 should not be a challenge at all. Fastest lap. I think we've had fastest lap for most of the races this season. So definitely worth going for. And we're just going to go into the warehouse here before we start the race and double check that everything is installed. There we go. Front wings have now been installed, the new ones. Side pods have been installed. Again, we're good. So let's check here. Has Ferrari and Red Bull made moves to catch up with us? Doesn't seem like it for Ferrari's sake. For Red Bull, not really this thing either. I think they've gained a little bit more top speed, but I can't remember. But again, the cars are very, very equal, but we are way better in cornering, which is, I guess, where we get our race pace from. So as long as we can get past, we'll stay in front, which is, of course, very, very good. So we'll quickly get practice done, we'll quickly get qualifying done, and I'll come back once I finish the Austrian Grand Prix. And again, if you want to watch the Grand Prix, they're in the description below. And we just finished the Austrian Grand Prix. Duhan won, Piastri 2nd. We had a safety car which bunched up the field, which helped us out a fair bit, which was very good. Also, in that consideration, Lando Norris was one crashing out, ran ahead in lap 31, and, well, crashed into a wall alone. Didn't really, have a problem with anyone else. Piastri had an accident too. He locked up, went from, I believe first in the race to P17. But he clawed his way back up to P2. So, a very good race from him, all things considered. But we had a bunch of smaller mistakes from both our drivers, really. But we managed to do well despite of them. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we're looking really good. Again, we basically have this one on hold here. We're halfway through the season. Constructors, 70-point lead. Very dominant, really. So as you can see here, there's been 11 races this season. We've won 10 of them. We also have had the fastest laps for all of them and only 6 pole positions. So I'd say we're doing pretty well, all things considered. So let's keep on going like this. Good race from Piastri in terms of development. Good race from Duhan too in terms of development. Really nice. And we remember to give Share some time in practice. Now, we didn't make as much as we usually do from performance incentives. It's just how things be sometimes. But I'd say we did pretty well. Now, this is basically the halfway point of the season. We just finished the 11th race. So we're doing pretty well in terms of standings. As you can see, 70 points. 20-point lead to Duhan, who has another 20-point lead basically down to Leclerc. Looking pretty good. Let's get a point in here on reactions for Piastri. And we have something here we need to respond to. So, the Aramco F1 schools. I don't know if this event does anything in particular, but honestly, I don't feel like it's worth it for 100k. If it was 1 million, maybe, but we will not attend. I don't really know what this event is, if it's just a flavor event or anything else, but I might need to look into that one. So sporting changes, they went through. So we'll be back to the old point system with the addition of pole position bonus points, as well as double points for last race. So it's going to be interesting next season, just from a points-based perspective. Congratulations, we did well, all things considered. Manufacturing is going. Research has been completed on my rear wing. Well, our rear wing, which is good. The underfloor took damage, so we need to manufacture a new one. I forgot about that. But, again, I don't feel like it's something we should rush with because we are getting a new underfloor, so I probably shouldn't actually manufacture that. Safety sim is in poor condition. I believe we're upgrading that, so that's going to alleviate itself. We do have money, so we could go wind tunnel right now, but we're going to wait a little bit because we have research to be done. So we might do that after the next race in a week in France. And again, I am tempted to do another research project here to, you know, stack the benefit, as you can see. It's going to help. We could also do something on the suspension, for instance, which I think we might do. Because I'll try and see here if we can, you know, stack one research project on every piece, because there are a limit to the amount of gain you can get. So we'll be doing researches on every piece will be the goal. We'll do them fairly balanced, but yeah, we'll have to see how we end up next season with that as a goal. 5 engineers, 310,000. If we have a look at the calendar before next race, will anything interesting happen? Underfloor will be completed. Manufacturing, research will be completed. So yeah, we will not be doing the wind tunnel right now. We'll wait until after the French Grand Prix. And as I said, I shouldn't really have ordered an underfloor because we have new one incoming. But that's my bad. So the design has been done. Let's go ahead here. And as you can see, it's a pretty massive upgrade this late in the season. It should give us the edge on everything. So I don't think, again, we will need any more upgrades throughout this this season, most likely, unless the other teams do something amazing. So we're going to cancel the underfloor because we're going to make new ones, so it doesn't really matter. Manufacture, sorry, that's the wrong one, underfloor. And as you can see, we'll have one for the French Grand Prix, but that's fine. We are doing 1-2s from the last of the grid, so we can go ahead and just do it normally. There we are. And we'll start a new research project. We're going to do research on the underfloor. It's going to be important after all. And as you can see, the gain here is quite minimal. But research helps, and we're going to, again, just focus research this season, I think. And we'll see, do some testing, see how worth or not worth it is. So there we are. It's going to be done in October. I think that's okay. I think that was all we needed to do before we can continue. So let's move forwards. And then we have weather center done. And also team hub. Now, do we want to continue any upgrades here on the team hub? Probably do. Again, the weekly experience gain is nice. The morale is nice too. But it's going to become expensive. You know, more and more expensive. But even so, we'll do it. Let's see. Weather. Do we want to keep this one, upgrading this one too? I think so. Being able to get that 90% forecast could help. And again, money isn't really a problem, which is also one of the reasons why I'm upgrading every facility. I want to see if we manage to actually push to the point where we will hit this cost cap. Because right now it's actually challenging to get that. Like half of our expenses this season has been car development. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Side pods and finished manufacturing, very good. Race preview, the French Grand Prix. Hospitality area has been upgraded too, as well as our chassis research has been completed. So we're gonna do, again, just keep on researching everything, try and do it fairly, you know, one for each. We might do some changes later on when we see where the research benefits lie, but in general, we'll try and keep it balanced. Let's see here. Hospitality. Could upgrade it again. It would boost the attractiveness quite a bit. And I think we'll do that. We'll gamble and we'll test this. We'll try and upgrade the hospitality area throughout this season, and we'll see if we can attract better staff with that. So with that said, race weekend is in one day. We'll get there soon. There we are. We'll set up our performance targets. And there we go. Let's say both our drivers in top 8. Should be doable. Q3 for both. Doable. And finishing in the top 3 for one driver is doable. Because again, it is that potential of crashing out. So we'll just leave it as is. Now with that in mind, we're ready for the French Grand Prix. But before we do that, I'd like to thank everyone who has been watching so far. This will be the end of part 1. Of this season, or part 2 if you look at it like the preseason as its own part. And we'll continue the rest of the season in the next one. Last time I just cut the whole thing in 2 because it became a lot longer after everything that I thought it would be. So we're going to end part 1 here. I'll be uploading all 11 races in its own playlist. I might also edit the video so that you'll have you know, a click link for those races, maybe for the next part. But yeah, these videos did a lot better than I expected. It's been a lot of fun. So I'd like to continue. Lastly, I'd like to ask everyone to subscribe and ding the bell. Drop down a like if you're enjoying the series so far. I'm enjoying making these videos a lot. So again, thank you for everyone who's already, you know, subscribed, ding the bell, like the videos. It really helps. Thank you a lot. I hope to see you next time. And yeah, thank you very much.